The galaxy was wide and endless, filled with stars, nebulae, and strange worlds. But in one quiet sector, whispers traveled faster than light. They spoke of a human, a single man who carried a secret no empire could ignore. He did not travel with an army, he did not own fleets, yet wherever he went, power shifted. Rulers grew anxious, and curious eyes followed him. His ship was not grand, it was small and battle-scarred. The paint was faded, the metal marked with burns from old battles. Still, it drifted with purpose, as if destiny itself pulled it forward. Inside, the man sat in silence, his gaze fixed on the stars beyond the glass. He was not just any human. He was the one who carried a strange bond, a bond that no alien could understand. Behind him, in the dim blue light of the ship's corridors, soft steps could be heard. Not one, not two, but many. Beautiful alien women walked through the narrow halls, each one different, each one unique. They came from different worlds, different species, yet all were tied to him. Their forms carried the signs of new life, each of them heavy with child. The sight alone would shake the galaxy, for no one had imagined such a thing possible. The first was tall, her skin like silver metal, eyes glowing like molten gold. She had once been a warrior, queen who commanded legions. Her people had fallen in battle, but he had saved her life when no one else dared. Now she carried his child, walking close to him, as if his presence gave her strength. The second was smaller, her skin marked with stripes of blue and violet, her ears long and sharp, her smile hiding a story of pain. She had been chained by her own kind, betrayed by blood, left to die in a forgotten pit. He had cut her chains with his own hands, carrying her away through fire and smoke. Now she too carried his child, and her loyalty to him was unshakable. The third walked slowly, her steps careful, her belly heavy. She was once a healer of her people, a soft soul who had seen too much death. When war came to her world, she had stayed behind to protect the weak. But when her world burned, he stood against the flames and pulled her from ruin. She had never left his side since, and there were more, each one with her own story, each one tied to him not only by fate but by choice. They were not slaves, not captives, but companions who had found in him something that no alien ruler, no council, no empire had ever given. He had given them hope, trust, and the promise of a future. But outside the walls of his ship, the whispers grew louder. Alien councils met in secret chambers, voices sharp with fear. They said no human should have such power. They said his children would change everything. The blood of humans mixing with alien lines was something the galaxy was not ready to accept. One council leader struck the table and shouted, "If his children are born, they will not belong to any of us. They will belong only to him. And they will be strong, stronger than anything we have seen. We must act before it is too late." Back inside the ship, the man knew none of the peace he had was safe. He could see the tension in the eyes of the women. He could feel the weight of destiny pressing closer with every breath. They trusted him. They carried his children. But he also carried their hopes. If he failed, the galaxy would crush them. Yet he did not show fear. He smiled at them, placed his hand gently on their shoulders, and spoke in a calm voice. "Whatever comes, we will face it together, I promised you freedom, I promised you safety, and I will never break my word." The ship continued its path, slipping through the stars. Every world it passed turned to watch. Every empire it neared held its breath. Some wanted to destroy him, others wanted to capture him, but all of them wanted to know the same truth. How had a single human gathered an alien harem so powerful, so loyal, and all carrying his children? What secret did he hold? What kind of future was waiting to be born inside the walls of that small, battered ship? The galaxy was about to find out. The human's ship drifted into a quiet trade station at the edge of neutral space. The docking lights flashed red, then green, as the vessel settled into place. Traders, miners, and mercenaries stopped to stare. They did not see a battleship. They did not see a carrier. Instead, They saw something stranger, a small worn vessel carrying something far more valuable than weapons. When the hatch opened, the whispers began again. The man stepped out first, tall and calm. His clothes simple, but his eyes sharp with focus. Behind him followed the alien women, each one moving with pride. Their steps steady, even as the weight of unborn life slowed them. Their presence made the crowd silent. A miner leaned close to his friend and whispered, "Why do they follow him? Why do they stay by his side?" His friend shook his head, fear in his eyes. "No one knows, but I heard each one was saved by him, and now they carry his children. Some say he is cursed, others say he is chosen." The man ignored the stares. He guided the women gently, making sure each one was safe, his hand always near, his eyes always alert. He did not act like a conqueror. He acted like someone who carried a heavy responsibility. That alone made him different. In a galaxy where rulers took what they wanted, he had earned loyalty instead of forcing it. At a small shop, a trader with silver scales dared to speak. "Human, what are you planning? Do you think your children will rule us one day?" The man looked at him, not with anger, but with calm. "I plan nothing but their safety. They will be free. Just as their mothers are free, no council will own them, no empire will chain them." His words spread through the station like fire. Some heard hope in them, some heard danger. For generations, aliens had feared the mixing of species. They believed it would break traditions, destroy bloodlines, and create something they could not control, now before their very eyes. That fear was alive. One of the alien women, the silver-skinned queen, placed her hand on her swollen belly and spoke softly. "They fear what they do not understand. They fear that love can be stronger than war." Her golden eyes glowed as she looked at the human. "But they will learn. In time, they will learn." Later, in the quiet of the ship, the women gathered around him. The healer sat beside him and said, "They will come for us. You know this, don't you?" He nodded slowly. "Yes, I know. Already the councils speak of us. Already the fleets prepare. They will try to end what we have before it begins." The striped alien, once a prisoner, clenched her fists. "Then let them come. We are not weak. We are not afraid. They will learn what it means to stand against us." Her voice trembled, not with fear, but with fierce loyalty. The human leaned forward, his voice steady. "Listen to me. I did not bring you with me to fight endless wars. I saved you because I could not leave you behind. Each of you chose to stay. Each of you chose this life. But I promise you, no matter what happens, I will stand between you and the galaxy. They will have to face me before they ever reach you or the children." Silence filled the room. The women looked at him with trust. A trust so deep that no empire could break it. For them, he was not just a protector. He was the center of their new world. Outside, however, storm clouds were forming. On distant planets, leaders shouted in fear. "This human must be stopped. His children must never be born. They are a threat to everything we know." Fleets were armed. Spies were sent. Bounty hunters began to sharpen their blades. But even as the galaxy turned against him, small voices rose in his favor. Refugees who had seen him fight for the weak spoke his name with hope. Traders who had been saved from pirates whispered blessings as they shared his story. On more than one world, murals began to appear, showing a lone human standing with alien women by his side, their bellies round with life, their eyes full of fire. The man did not seek worship. He did not ask for followers. Yet everywhere he went, his legend grew. He became a symbol of something new, something dangerous, something beautiful. In the silence of the ship's night, as stars drifted beyond the glass, he stood alone at the window. His reflection showed a tired man, carrying more than any one human should. Yet behind him, soft voices laughed, alien songs mixed with human words. Their warmth filled the ship, their presence gave him strength. He whispered to himself, "They will come for us soon, but when they do, they will see the truth. We are not weak. We are not broken. We are the beginning of something they cannot stop." The stars burned brighter, as if listening. The galaxy was changing, and all of it centered on a single human and the lives growing inside those who walked beside him. The human sat quietly in the ship's common hall. Around him, the alien women rested, their voices soft, their movements slow but graceful. Each one carried new life, and each one carried memories of how their paths had crossed his. These were not accidents, they were stories written in sacrifice, trust, and choices that changed the course of many lives. The silver-skinned queen sat nearest to him. Her hand brushed across her round belly as she remembered the first day they met. She had been trapped in a collapsing star fortress, her own guards abandoning her when the enemy fleet closed in. She should have died in fire, yet through the chaos, a human ship had appeared. He had no reason to be there, no reason to risk himself, but he did. He broke through the blockade, landed on the burning station, and carried her through flames as if the galaxy had commanded it. She had once ruled thousands, yet no one had ever carried her as he did. The striped alien closed her eyes, her thoughts pulling her back to the pit where she was left. Betrayed by her own blood, chained to rot in darkness, she had almost given up. But then, footsteps echoed. A human voice called her name. He cut the chains with his own blade. His hands bleeding as the metal bit into him, he did not stop. He lifted her broken body and carried her into the light. From that day, she swore she would never leave him. The healer, gentle and kind, remembered too. Her world was lost to fire. She had stayed behind to help the weak when soldiers abandoned them. When she thought it was her final breath, he appeared, fighting with nothing but his own strength and his refusal to run. He shielded her with his own body, and when the fire cleared, she found herself alive because of him. Because of one human who could not stand the sight of the helpless dying. One by one, their stories connected. Each alien woman looked to him, not because he demanded it, but because he had given something rare in the galaxy. He had given them choice. He had given them freedom. In a universe built on control, conquest, and power, he had offered loyalty, kindness, and trust. That was why they stayed. That was why they carried his children with pride. The human listened as they spoke of these memories. He did not smile with pride. He did not act as if he had done something grand. To him, it had always been simple. He could not leave them behind. He could not let them suffer alone. That was his nature. But even as their bond grew stronger, the galaxy outside grew darker. On distant worlds, rumors spread. Children of mixed blood, born of human and alien, would be stronger, faster perhaps. Even beyond control, entire councils debated endlessly. Some feared the end of their traditions. Some feared the rise of a new race that could unite the stars. In the shadows, bounty hunters sharpened their blades. Merchants whispered of massive rewards for anyone who brought back the human alive. Fleets prepared in silence, waiting for the order to strike on the ship. However, none of this fear touched the warmth of their bond. The healer sat with the others and sang in her native tongue, her voice soft, the words filled with hope. The striped alien joined her, her rough voice blending into the melody. Even the queen, once feared as a ruthless ruler, allowed herself a small laugh as she leaned against the human. For a moment, there was peace. For a moment, there was life beyond war. The unborn children shifted within their mothers, as if sensing the safety of their father's presence. The man placed his hand across the queen's stomach, then across the healer's. His touch was gentle, and his voice carried promise. You will grow in a world better than this one. I will make sure of it. Yet in the silence of night, when the others slept, he remained awake, his eyes fixed on the map of stars glowing above the console. He knew peace would not last. He knew war was already being prepared. He whispered to himself, "They will not take this from me. They will not take them from me. Not while I breathe." The women trusted him, but he trusted them too. Each one was strong in her own way. Each one had survived loss, betrayal, or destruction. Together, they were not weak. Together, They were a shield. The bond between human and alien had become something more. It was no longer about one man and those who followed him. It was about the future, a future where bloodlines mixed, where barriers broke, where hope grew in places that once only knew fear. And though the galaxy trembled at the thought, he believed in it. They believed in it, and soon, the stars themselves would see it. Far away from the human small ship, in the shining towers of the Galactic Council, fear and anger filled the air. Alien leaders sat around a vast table, their faces twisted with worry. Some pounded their fists, others hissed in rage. All spoke of the same human. "He is dangerous," growled a reptilian warlord, his scales shifting with tension. "One man should not have the loyalty of so many alien women. And now they carry his children. Do you not see what this means? It is a threat to us all." A tall insectoid elder clicked its mandibles in agreement. "If these children are born, they will be hybrids, stronger than either parent. They will not belong to any single race. They could unite the stars in ways we cannot control. We must stop this before it grows." The council chamber echoed with voices. Some feared him, others envied him, but all agreed. A storm was coming. Plans were drawn, fleets were prepared, and bounty hunters were sent with promises of riches beyond imagination. Back on the human ship, he felt the weight of the storm long before it reached him. He sat in silence, watching the stars. His instincts told him danger was close. He turned to the women and spoke calmly. "The galaxy is moving against us. They fear what we are building. They fear the children you carry." The silver-skinned queen placed her hand on his arm, her golden eyes sharp. "Let them fear. We will not run forever. If they want to stop us, they will learn what it costs." Striped alien bared her teeth, her hand gripping the hilt of a blade. "I was chained once. I will never be chained again. If they come, I will fight until my last breath." The healer shook her head, her voice soft but steady. "Fighting may not be enough. They will come with numbers too great. Fleets too large. We must be clever. We must stay united. That is our strength." The man nodded. "You are right. Alone I am only human, but together we are more than that. We are something the galaxy has never seen before." But even as they spoke, the first shadow of danger appeared. A mercenary ship followed them through the outer rim. Cloaked in darkness, inside, hunters whispered of the reward promised by the council. Their eyes glowed with greed. They did not see the women as mothers or as warriors. They saw them as prizes to be sold. The human sensed the danger, his instincts sharpened by battles long past. He adjusted the ship's course, but he knew escape would not be easy. He turned to the queen. "Prepare the shields. They will test us soon." The queen's hands danced over the controls, her warrior skills as sharp as ever. The healer prepared medical kits, while the striped alien checked her weapons. The ship trembled as the hunters closed in. "Transmit a warning," the man said, his voice cold. "Tell them if they come closer, they will regret it." The message went out, but the hunters only laughed. Their ship fired a warning shot, blue fire streaking past the hull. The women stood ready, the human steady at the helm. In that moment, he realized the truth. This was not just one ship of hunters. More would come, many more. The councils would never stop. They would send fleets, armies, assassins. They would never allow his children to be born in peace. And yet, as he looked at the women beside him, courage filled his chest. They were not afraid. They were ready to fight, ready to protect the future growing within them. He could not fail them. The first shots of battle lit up the stars. The human's ship shook as explosions rattled its shields. The women moved as one, each playing her part. The queen diverted power. The healer supported the others. The striped alien leapt into the gunner's chair, her eyes burning with fury. Blasts filled the void. But the human guided the ship like a master of the stars, weaving through fire, striking back with precision. One hunter ship fell, then another. Their enemies screamed through coms, realizing too late this was no ordinary prey. When the battle ended, silence returned. The hunters were gone, debris floating in the dark. The women breathed heavily, sweat shining on their faces, but they were alive. Their unborn children were safe. The man stood and looked at them, his voice firm. This was only the beginning. They will come again, and in greater numbers. But we will be ready. We will not let them break us. The women gathered close, their hands resting on their bellies, their eyes burning with determination. Together, they had faced the first wave. Together, they would face the storms to come. Beyond the wreckage, the galaxy watched, some in fear, some in hope. The legend of the human grew louder, whispered across stars. His children had not yet been born, but already they were changing the universe.